Would Jesus stand in line? In Luke 3:21, Dr. Luke gives a very placid, docile account of Jesus' baptism. The New King James Version of the Bible records the scene this way. When all the people were baptized, it came to pass that Jesus also was baptized, and while he prayed, the heaven was open. Dr. Luke's description makes it appear as if Jesus, without any fanfare, simply walked to the Jordan River, took his place in the baptismal line, and was baptized. It was as simple as that. However, in their accounts, Mark and Matthew spiced the story up a bit. I wasn't there, so I really cannot tell you which description is more accurate, but I can tell you that it wouldn't surprise me at all to learn that Dr. Luke was more accurate. Why? Because while here on this earth, that's the kind of guy Jesus was. He didn't go around seeking notoriety. His earthly travels wove him in and out of everyday, ordinary places and situations as he ministered to everyday, ordinary people. Yes, I genuinely believe that Jesus would have stood in line. For 21 years, I served as the associational missionary for the Troop Baptist Association. During my tenure, I got to meet all kinds of people and experience various worship styles. We ran the gamut. Our worship styles ranged from low church to high church and everything in between. We sang everything from anthems to praise and worship courses to country and bluegrass gospel. We had everything from refined scholarly preaching to hellfire and damnation preaching and any style between the two that you would desire. To say the least, we were indeed a diverse group. Now, why did I share all of this with you? I shared it with you to ask a question. Whether our worship style is high church, low church, in-between church, anthems, praise courses, country and bluegrass, teaching, or hellfire and damnation preaching, I wonder how many times we miss Jesus in our worship experience because we're expecting some great fanfare to be associated with his presence, when in reality he shows up as just another guy standing in a line, or perhaps just another person sitting beside us in the pew, or maybe as a nursery worker, or a million other ways. As I thought about this devotion, I began to think about all the different ways Jesus walked among his people while he was here. The religious crowd missed him because he chose to ignore all the pomp and circumstance the church leaders of the day expected of a Messiah. Please understand that some of the greatest joys in the Christian life are not found by recognizing Jesus when he is lifted high and holy, but rather by recognizing him in the obscure, insignificant crevices of our lives. Only when we realize that Jesus cares for the seemingly insignificant things in our lives can we trust him with the huge things. The true joy of Christianity is experienced when we discover Jesus in the small stuff of our lives. And speaking of the small stuff, Jesus went fishing with his disciples. And some may say, yeah, but he performed the miracle of the great catch of fish while he was out there. Sure, he did. But did you miss what I said? Jesus went fishing with his disciples. He wasn't preaching from a pulpit. He wasn't teaching a seminary class. He wasn't teaching Sunday school. Jesus went with his disciples fishing. Are you getting this? Jesus cooked a meal for his disciples. Can't you see him sampling the meal while he was waiting on the disciples to arrive? Maybe Jesus was like Emeril Lagasse. Bam! Kick it up a notch. Jesus cooked a meal for them. Are you getting this? Jesus slept in the disciples' boat. And some may say, yeah, but he also performed the miracle of calming the storm. Sure, he did. But did you hear what I said? Jesus was asleep in their boat. Jesus attended the sleepover. Are you getting this? He cried real tears when Lazarus died. And some may say, yeah, but he raised Lazarus from the dead. Sure, he did. But did you hear what I said? Jesus wept. Are you getting this? The night before Jesus would be crucified the next day, what did he do? He gathered his disciples together in an upper room to share the Passover with them. Strange, isn't it? That night, he wasn't cramming their heads full of last-minute instructions. It was almost as if he was saying, tomorrow the spotlight of time and eternity will be focused on me. Tomorrow I will fulfill the purpose for which I was born. But tonight, I just want to be one of you guys. I want to be the ordinary guy who stands in line with you, goes fishing with you, cooks a meal for you, attends your sleepover, and worships with you through this Passover celebration. Tonight, I just want to walk among you with no fanfare, no pomp, and no circumstance. Tonight, I just want to be with you as your friend. How long has it been since you have sensed the presence of Jesus standing in line with you? How long has it been since you took him fishing? How long has it been since you have feasted on the heavenly manna only he can prepare? How long has it been since you have sensed his presence in the dead of the night? How long has it been since you have simply spent time with him as your friend? How long has it been since you truly worshiped him? Now would probably be a really good time to start. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Hebrews 13:2. Yep, I think he would have stood in line. He's just that kind of God. Jesus, would you make us keenly aware that you are God in the little stuff and the small encounters of our lives, just as much as the big stuff, Lord. Today, Lord, I pray that you would help us not to miss you in the events and course of our lives today. Whether it be a little thing, a big thing, a kind act, an uplifting word, God, regardless of what it is, help us not to miss you today. And I ask this in your name. Amen.